How's it going, guys? James here from Butler Farms here on a sunny spring break Monday afternoon. Had a lot of weather come through this weekend. Everything's wet. Luckily I was able to get the garden broken up before the rain came in, but today I'm doing some things since I can't get the tractor out and without tearing up the yard. I'm just going to do some things here today that I can do. One of the things I've been saving back for a day like this is getting my fruit trees kind of weed free, and I'm going to say from the beginning, this is absolutely not my idea. I got this from Billy at Permapastures Farm. I've told y'all about him before, so I'm going to give credit where credit's due. We're going to see if it works here. It seems to work really well for him to keep his fruit trees weed free without chemicals. Y'all know I don't spray chemicals here, and I definitely wouldn't want to spray this close to one of my fruit trees. So this is one of my crabapple trees, kind of young, only had a couple of crab apples on it last year. You can see that it's already leafing out and got some flowers already starting to form, so I'm hoping to get a few crab apples off of it. Not expecting a lot. Like I said, this is only about a 2, maybe 3-year-old tree. I don't really remember when I planted it, but got to take care of it while I can so that one day it will produce. In one of my other videos, you saw me come through and prune it up, get all the water shoots off of it, and take that away from it so it's not having to support that. And now I'm going to help knock down some more competition, which is the weeds. Now, I don't do this to all my fruit trees, but you can see this is what I dug out of there. Here in the south we call that Johnson grass. Serves absolutely no purpose. It's just a weed. And so it was growing up here, a lot of other grass. I did have some pine straw mulch and some leaf mulch. Y'all have seen me bag all that up and put it around my fruit trees, but over time it wears down and gets so thin that the weeds and stuff just shoot through it. So I saw this with Billy up at Permapasture, and I thought I'd give it a try. And it's really pretty simple. Just a plain piece of brown cardboard. You don't want the old slick stuff that's got all the bright colors on it and stuff. They say the ink on these really doesn't matter, but as you can see, this one I was able to find a piece that has no ink on it whatsoever. And so let me show you what he does and what I'm going to do. I simply took a box cutter here, and I've cut this kind of to size. Now, the reason that I've kind of got this rounded off a little bit, y'all know that I've shown you before, I have to keep cages around my young trees here, even as close as this is to the house. I see deer tracks up here all the time, and so to keep the animals off of my young fruit trees until they get established and I can get a different kind of trunk guard on there, that's what I have to use. So in order for me to get that back around this tree, I had to cut it down a little bit. Now down here you can see that I took my box cutter and cut this little triangle in it and cut a slit in it so that I could slide it around it. Now, this is my first time doing this, so again, I'm just telling you what Billy showed on one of his videos. You can see this, I don't know if you can tell from the camera, this is a downhill slope. This is an old trash pile that we have up here that's rotting down, and this is on a slope. And so you always want your cardboard with a slit on the downhill side so that it'll stay put. And before I do that, I'm going to take my organic fertilizer. Y'all have seen me use this before. I'm not particular to this brand. I want it to be organic stuff that I put around here. You just don't want that synthetic stuff over here. I'm gonna come out here and put a good dose of that. This will be probably the only time I do this year, so I'm gonna hit it real good and hard. The ground is kind of wet, but I'm not worried about it like I would be with synthetic fertilizer, because this organic stuff has a lot less potency to it. Takes a lot longer to work into the soil, so I'm not really worried about that. But you can see that I didn't get it anywhere near the trunk. It's out here toward the side. Now, when I do finally put this in place for the last time, I forgot to bring the hose pipe up here with me. I am going to go ahead and wet this down. It probably wouldn't matter. I'm going to put all this broken down mulch and everything back on top of it anyway, but just to kind of kick start it, I'm gonna go ahead and saturate this cardboard real good just to, you know, let it go ahead and have some moisture close to the ground. Now this is going to do several things. Number one, like I've already said, it's going to keep those weeds from, at least for this year until it breaks down, it's going to keep the weeds from coming up in there. I've told you before, it's kind of a nightmare to run the weed eater around these cages. It constantly hangs up and things like that, and hopefully this will take care of that, where I can just go around the perimeter of the cage and not actually have to get close to it. The good thing about this cardboard, especially once it gets wet, is when I put my cage back around it, you can see that I left the spikes on the bottom so that they would stick in the ground. They'll go right through that cardboard, help to hold it down, and it'll give a little bit of a perimeter outside the cage so that the weeds don't grow up right next to it. The only other thing I would have left to do, so I've got my fertilizer down. I'm going to wet this cardboard. You don't have to. I've seen Billy do it both ways. I'm not going to get rid of all this old compost that I had here. You can see that's broken down. Even the pine straw is getting kind of unrecognizable. It's real good stuff, so I'm gonna make sure that I put that back on there. But the last thing, y'all have seen me working that compost pile several times, and if she can get a little bit closer, you can see what that's broken down into. It's just finished compost. Yes, I mean, I'm sure some people would sift all this out and start over again. And if I was putting it around vegetable plants, I probably would get some of the bigger stuff out. But for this kind of thing, this is finished, even though it does have some chunks in it. That's just some stuff I put in later after it was already finished, but it's ready to go. So I'm going to put that on top of it as a mulch on top of this cardboard, and I know that there's life in this compost. I've seen it. So it's going to start breaking down this other stuff that I'm about to put back on there. It's going to break down this cardboard. It's going to start working with that organic fertilizer and give this tree a good jump for this year. So it's not really that time consuming once you get everything in place, and I won't do this with all my fruit trees. This one has been a problem since I planted it with the weeds. I've got another crabapple tree down here at the end of the, you probably can't see it from here, it's on the other side of that stump, but it never has a weed in it. And I put the same thing around it. They're the same age. I pile it up real high with cut up leaves in the fall, and they last all year, and I don't even hardly ever have to run a weed eater around it, and I don't know the reason for that. So this year I'm probably just going to do this. I will fertilize all my trees, put the mulch back around it, but as far as the cardboard goes, I'm going to use it for the trouble trees this year, the ones that I constantly have to pull weeds and things out from inside the fence and have to cut around it all the time, just to see if it works. It's just an experiment. Like I said, Billy from Permapastures Farms, he's got a ton of fruit trees, and this is what he does with them, and his fruit trees produce. You can watch his videos and see it, and I would encourage you to do so. So this is just another way of combating and fighting weeds. Low tech, low investment. This is just cardboard that was going to be recycled anyway, that I picked up at the recycling trailers that we have around here. I guess you'd call it dumpster diving, but I don't have anything in it. The only thing I have in it is the fertilizer that I was going to put around it anyway. So very low cost, very low tech, but it should work. So I'm gonna leave it there, guys. I appreciate you joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This is the time of year where I'm going to start putting out a lot more content, because we've got a lot more that's starting to happen. Things are blooming out around here, and as you can see just from this tree, and the garden's broken, and here in the next 3 to 4 weeks we're going to put in the garden. So a lot of things are getting ready to start happening, and so we're really going to pick up. Don't forget to tell a friend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and please give us a thumbs up. Comment. I love to read the comments. I love to see when I get on there that somebody's left me one. Even if I got a pretty negative one on a video not too long ago, guys, I don't mind that at all. I learn from them, and and move on from the negative. So until next time, this is James from Butler Farms, and we'll be seeing you.